It's so good that you joined us today. We are in a 2-part series, and the last month we have shared and talked about children. If you missed that, I want you to go back and listen to that because I think it will help you with your kids. And this week, well, we're talking about marriage. And so I just jotted down some notes of what we're going to be discussing. I wanted my husband to come and help me, but he did not want to be on, to be heard. So guess what? It's just me being heard. But I'm not going to, eliminate his feelings or anything like that. But we are talking about marriage. And if you've been married, you kind of understand there might be some issues in your marriage, and there may not be. I mean, you may have already just cleared all them issues out of the way, and you just have a happy, wonderful marriage. And if you do, I would love to meet you in person. But I want to warn you first, because this is not probably going to be a kid-friendly session. So you might want to get your kids out of the room and doing their own thing before you listen to this topic. And I also want to put out there, I am no expert in marriage. Believe me, if you've heard my testimony, you know that this is the third marriage of mine. And third time is charm, they say, but third time to me is blessing. And I have learned plenty about marriage over the years of needing the perfect marriage. I'm not saying I have the perfect marriage, but I am saying that it's pretty good, and I really enjoy being married to my husband. So the first thing I want to talk about in your marriage is one of the very important things is to pray over your marriage. Some people just go every day and do this and do that, and we really need to seek the Lord about our marriage. I pray over my marriage every day. I pray, Lord, show me what I need to change and what I need to do. And he does show me what I need to change and what I need to do. And sometimes I don't listen. I don't know why. I need to, right? And so it's always about me. It's not about, I can't believe he does this and please change him. Now I do say, can you please remind him? Because we've discussed this before plenty of times, and we'll be talking about that later. But plenty of times we've discussed this, and it's still not changing. So, just pray over your marriage and just seek God, because if he's not the center of your marriage, then it's not going to work. Marriages change after the honeymoon. Before you're married, you're like, I'll always pursue you. Nothing's going to change, and we're always going to be on the honeymoon. And, well, we know how that works out. We've been married, we'll be 15 years in January. Praise the Lord, we've made it that far, and I can't even believe it's been 15 years. It went by so fast. But, the honeymoon, it comes to an end. I don't know why, but we just allow other things to come into the picture, and there's other things that's important, so we don't really give place to each other as important, and that needs to change. I mean, we need to make sure that we are pursuing each other, and we are going out of our way to do things for the other one. We need to always put them first, and usually, after marriage and the honeymoon and all that, we begin to decide, wait a minute, I've missed doing this. I'm going to go do this, and I'm going to go do that. And before long, you and your wife or your husband is like, you don't know each other. You have changed where you just don't know each other, but you have to continually make each other first. You have to make the other person feel loved. And if you do that, if I'm making my husband feel loved, he's going to make me feel loved. So everything that I need and I give to him, he's going to give back to me. If your husband or your wife is not that way, go back to number 1 and pray. Pray over your marriage. You need to put your best foot forward. You did before you were married, and you always looked nice, and you went out and went on dates and stuff, and that kind of stops when you get married. You just have other things going on. And so if you're at home, you might not even want to dress nice and put your hair pretty, and your husband might come home to the same thing that he left in the morning, and that ain't real attractive. You need to get up, get dressed, shower, do your makeup, do your hair, look real pretty for him. If you're a stay-at-home husband, you need to do the same thing, look real pretty for her. There's things that we just allow to come in. It takes up our time, and it takes up our mind and our time. So we got to, stay good and taskful on these things. Make sure the house is decent, and make sure you're not too busy for each other, because a lot of times, you see husbands and wives and you wonder, where's the wife? Oh, she's here, she's doing that. Where's the husband? Oh, he's here, he's doing that. This is a marriage is two people, and it's not just one person doing all the work in the marriage and in the home and with the kids. It's two people coming together to help each other, to grow and to love each other. One of the things we need to do is strive to be or have a perfect marriage. There is no perfect marriage, and it probably won't ever be perfect, but you can strive to make it the best that it can be. One of the things in marriage is communication, and if you are not communicating in marriage, you got some issues right there. Communication is the key, and that's going to help you and teach you. It will change you. I tell my husband, if I do not know, then I cannot change it. So if there's something bothering you, or if there's something wrong, you need to tell me what it is so I can change it. Because if I don't know, I have no idea. Now, in the midst of that, don't just come out and say, I don't like your cooking. No, be nice about it. Or say, hey, this isn't the best meal. Maybe you could cook something else, and think of something else that might be good. You don't ever want to come around and don't tell me my faults by criticizing me. You can have a nice little conversation about, whatever it is that's bothering you, and do it where you're not fighting. That's one of the big keys also, is fight fair. And that does not mean to fight, to fight and bicker with each other. That means hey, I am telling you something important. I want you to listen to me. And men, I don't know if all women are like this, but if your woman tells you something, you better be listening, because she's not just telling you this to tell you, she is telling you this because this needs to happen. I don't know if I can give an example of that, but maybe, let's see. Oh, let's do this. Hey, hun, my tires in my car need aired. I think they're kind of low. Can you check them? Okay. To a woman that says, hey, my tires are low in my car. Can you check them? So as a woman, I expect my husband to, oh, sure, I'll check them, babe. Go out and check them. Okay, well, men don't like women who keep telling them to do something or something needs to be done, right? Correct? Because then they feel like you're their mother. So you might mention it again, and maybe a week later, hey, hon, can you go check my tires? They're a little low. All right. He's like, okay, good with that, seems like. But then your tires never get checked and they are still low. So you have to end up doing it yourself. So, that was a big thing right there, where you're actually telling him something. But actually what I'm referring to is, but listen, men, listen, maybe it's something, okay, we're going to get into some other stuff here. We might as well do it now and get it over with, right? Hey, hun, I like back rubs, but back rubs don't, lead me into something else. Back rubs make me sleepy. So when he's in the mood and wants something, don't give me a back rub. That's what I'm saying, and that's pretty clear. And then tell them what they can do, because you don't want to just them figure it out for themselves. Here's what you can do. And if they don't do it, then they don't do it. Then they don't reap the benefits of that either, because that's just how it is. I mean, if a woman is telling you specifically what she needs, listen and do that, because every stinking TV show and every stinking book and every stinking music and all this junk that you are listening to and feeding yourself with is not the real woman you're married to. Those people get paid. And those people can go to the bedroom 5,000 times out in the series or whatever, and that's not how they got there in the first place. I promise you. Later on up in marriage, your hormones change, and it's not like that. And in fact, let me just say, it's not really the problem with your hormones. It is really the spirit of lust. And that spirit will take you down. Oh, come on, let's go. It'll take you down. And it's the spirit of love that holds a marriage together. And so if you differentiate between the two, the spirit of lust will have you throwing clothes all over the room, and it's going to lie to you. It's going to say that's love, and that's not love. You think, oh, I want my husband just to throw off the stuff on the table and blah, blah, blah. No, that's pretty much lust. And love does not do that. Love is loving and wonderful. And, if you want to do the table thing, whatever, but what I'm getting to is you see these TV shows and all that junk, and that's lust. That's what that is, but that is not love. And in real life, them women or them men don't do that. And so, or they might, because they might have a spirit of lust, but love is what we need, the spirit of love and consideration and kindness and all of these things. And it brings an awesome romantic love life. That's the benefits of being married, is to have that. Okay, let's move on real fast. Okay. One of the things we need to know is each other's love language. This kind of goes back to the other thing though, but your love language is very important. And if you don't know what your love language is, I think there's a website you can get on there and find out what it is that, you like. But mostly we know what our love language is. Some people like gifts, some people likes hugs, some people likes compliments. There's different things. Some people like service, where they like people to do things for them. And well, what happens though is we tend to do our own love language. And so when we're doing our own love language and our mates are not doing the ones that we need them to do for us, then nothing gets solved. We're just like, what is going on? What is going on? Because they're doing their love language and we're doing our love language, and there's nothing coming together. So you get very, very frustrated in that. But if you find that, oh, my husband loves this love language and I need to do this, go do that. And so then he will begin to start, working on doing the love language that you need. Usually they're very simple, but we are such a selfish people and living in a selfish world that we want everything to be just perfect and to be whatever for us, when we need to be putting the other person first and putting their needs first and doing things that they need done first. And then, then your needs get met. And Jesus is going to meet your needs no matter what, if you're not getting your needs met. But this is a big, big communication where you have to sit down and talk about this. Each other's love language, what you like, what you don't like. I mean, your husband might be doing something that you just really, it turns you off. Like I heard this minister say one time, I don't know what it is about them, but they really tick me off. Well, that thing might tick you off. Maybe he's flapping his old toes or something and making them, I don't know, maybe it turns you off. So quick with that feet thing, but don't be critical, but just say, is there a reason why you're doing that? Because it's really bothering me. And some people breathe heavy, and I think a lot of men do, because I've heard the story where people they breathe heavy, and so they're like, well, I'll just quit breathing. Well, you don't have to. Just learn how to breathe like that. It's not very hard to breathe normal. I don't know if it's maybe when they were babies, they just couldn't breathe. I don't know what the problem is, but I'm not saying that my husband does this. I'm just saying these are things that, people have issues with. Maybe husbands have issues with wives where and I actually used to do this, but they would cook supper and eat supper and blah, 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 but they wouldn't do the dishes. They just leave them in the sink. And, I'll do them tomorrow. And so, before long, tomorrow becomes tomorrow and tomorrow, and they kind of pile up, and then you have all these dirty dishes. Well, yeah, that could be a frustration for a man to have to deal with getting up in the mornings and there's nasty, dirty dishes. And I did. I don't know why I did that, but I did let them pile up, and I'd wash them, but I don't know. I don't do that anymore, thank goodness, because my husband does the dishes. Praise the Lord. I do the dishes also, but I don't let them pile up in the morning unless it's something that doesn't come off the pan, and I let it soak. But, it's just little things like that. But those little things can really get you irking at your other significant other. And we don't want that. We want to walk in love, and we want to be patient and kind with each other. I do suggest, go out on dates and go out of town. You don't have to go spend the night somewhere, but just go out of town for the day and do something fun. Do something out of the ordinary. Go to get some ice cream or go bowling or do all these things that I'm saying to do that I haven't done because, other things get in the way. And this is the reason I didn't want to do this podcast, because I am really thinking, boy, I need to listen to this and do everything I'm telling you. But I'm being real, and this is truth be known. So, this is the truth, and this is where it's known, because I have to tell you the truth, whether it's me doing it or if I'm not doing it, and some of the things I need to do and I'm working on. And just like every person in their marriage is working on their marriage every day for it to be a perfect, godly marriage. And so these are just a few little tips. They're not really huge ones, but let's start with this and let's start working on them, and let's see our marriages flourish. All right. So put your best foot forward, put your best clothes on, do your dishes, love each other, go out of your way for each other, go on dates, get your significant, now I'm not going to say significant other because it's your mate. And a man and a woman are married and joined together, and that is the mates I'm talking about. The other junk is just junk, and it is not biblical. Thank you for joining us, and this is the truth and the place you can find truth, because this is Truth Be Known.